This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
All right. There he is, locked and loaded and ready to go. How was Waddle in the locker room?
Yeah, well, I was at the podium. My colleague Chris Perkins was in the locker room, but I did ask Mike McDaniel about Jalen Waddle's status, and he did not have an update yet. Just said he was being evaluated, so nothing yet. They'll know more tomorrow.
All right. Your thoughts on the win, and what do you do with Connor Williams, and what do you do with Jason Sanders?
Oh yeah, that's two different sides of the spectrum. 2 for 1 there. like Mike McDaniel gets asked at his press conferences by us. The Furones are for ones, 2 for 1. We could say the win. This is what these teams should do is go out and win these games. Now, it's always going to be tough on the road against a division rival. So I expected this one to come down to the wire. The way it was going throughout the game, I didn't think it had to come down to the wire the way it did. But just the missed opportunities to finish them off ended up putting the Dolphins in that point. At that point, but what'd you ask? The special teams plays, the blocked field goal, that just a unique look.
Do with those two guys and their
Connor Williams and Tua? That's right. Yeah, you see, look, I lost track of the 2 for 1. Yeah, it comes up again. It's concerning at this point, and at a critical juncture, that it almost lost you the game where it's a 3rd and short, and you can put the game away by picking it up, and instead you have that issue come up again, and you end up with a missed 55-yard field goal. The Patriots have a short field after that. Connor Williams does a good job as a center in everything else that he does. So that's the issue. It's not like just get rid of the guy, but and Tua shouldered the blame himself. So last time Connor Williams was shouldering the blame in the locker room. I'm not sure if he was spoken to in the locker room today. We'll have to get him soon. But Tua's always one to pick his guys up as well. So, but that's got to get corrected, and it's got to be them. It's not like you're just going to make a change at the position because Connor Williams.
That's what I talked about. That you really can't get rid of him because he's a phenomenal blocker. And so listen, if the pocket was crumbling and he was doing this, then yeah, now you got to start talking about doing something. But the pocket never crumbles. He does an exceptional job of blocking. He might be a little too eager to block before he finishes the snap. I think that's his issue right now. And so I get it. But Sanders, that's one that you could do something about and bring somebody off the street or something like that. But he's failed in the last 2 key moments of the games in the last 2 weeks. It's at the end when he's even screwing up. And so, that's a real concern, bro, that this guy's not good.
And we've already had our moments with Jason Sanders over time. So this isn't something new. He started off with the back and forth. He had one good year, one bad year. And then just last season, it was a 50-yarder. So he was making mostly everything from inside. I know that Chicago game, he had a short field goal miss and I think an extra point too. But then obviously it was just the 50-yarders then that you were concerned about. He misses one here, gets another kick blocked, and back-to-back games where he is costing the team where you could have put the game away, 2-possession game late.
Andrew Van Ginkel. I get it when you get Jalen Phillips back, but you got to find a way to put this guy on the field, bro, because all this guy does is make plays. You know what I'm saying? Like Ogbah's screwed now. You know what I mean? You better get that guy out there way ahead of Ogbah. Ogbah doesn't even fit what you're doing. So you kind of got to have to tolerate him for this year, unfortunately. It's not Emmanuel's fault. They changed the scheme, and he probably doesn't fit it well. But holy shit, dude. Andrew Van Ginkel, he looks like Clay Matthews to me, bro.
Yeah, with the hair and everything. By the way, an interesting note, the Dolphins threw out their first-team defense pregame and in warm-ups, and they had Emmanuel Ogbah at that spot that Jalen Phillips would normally slide into. So it almost like I wonder if they were playing games with the Patriots, like this might be our starting defense, and then have them prepared for Ogbah if they're making any last-hour adjustments before the game, and then Andrew Van Ginkel's the one thrown out there, which
It's just
I would imagine the Patriots still had to figure based on a trade and. Did I lose you there?
No. It was you were kind of fading there, but what I was going to say is that sometimes I feel like Andrew Van Ginkel, if he was outside playing for the Patriots, like he would be a star for Bill Belichick. Like Bill Belichick somewhere all over the place making some plays, and since he was drafted, he's always done something, bro. And he never gets enough playing time, and I always wonder why. And now maybe with Fangio, maybe Fangio is the one that gives him the opportunity. I don't know. Maybe this, you know what? Maybe Flo didn't want him either, because maybe that's Flo's MO. Oh, well, the guy I didn't want, I'm not going to play him because you drafted him, or that kind of shit. I don't know what it is, but if Fangio's going to use him today, he was a werewolf, bro. He was awesome today.
Yeah.
Great.
And it's a testament to him that he added positional versatility this offseason, where he's playing inside linebacker off the ball as well, on top of playing on the edge, how we've seen him perform exceptionally. So credit to him that he could fill in inside if he has to. He's been that linebacker in nickel packages where you saw he outsnapped David Long, who was a big free agent acquisition, by so much in week 1. And then this week, Jalen Phillips is out, and you don't miss a beat because you have Andrew Van Ginkel there.
It's crazy. By the way, 70 yards and 1 TD for Saquon, and Mostert had 120. Oh, so Dalvin and Saquon had 70 yards and 1 touchdown combined. Mostert had 121 yards and 2 touchdowns. So, because I was talking before you came on, because all the silliness. Oh, we got to go after Saquon. Oh, we got to go after Jonathan Taylor. Oh, we got to go after Dalvin Cook. Mostert outrushed all 3 of them.
Look at that. I mean, I never thought they needed to add a big-time running back, and it was always going to be a luxury if they did. But, I mean, Raheem Mostert, he knows his system well. He knows Mike McDaniel. He's a guy that can't produce. He has been injury-plagued a little bit over time, but it seems like recently he's also gotten better in that regard, where he just missed 1 game last season, almost played his first full season. Oh, he missed a playoff game also, didn't he, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, he did. But between him and Jeff Wilson when he comes back, and then you have Savon Ahmed, who was a training camp darling, the way he has rejuvenated himself. So to have him sprout himself back up, and then you could still maybe get Devon A-Chain developed a little bit and ready to get in at some point if you have to go down that far. And Chris Brooks, you find a gem like that. These guys can just find running backs, and what's of greater importance is the offensive line, which was always a concern in the offseason that they didn't address enough. But so far, I think you got to give the staff credit for what they have put out there up front.
Zero panic from Chris Greer and from Mike McDaniel. They have done a marvelous job of run blocking this week, because last week they chose not to run.
Yeah.
This week they went back to running, and they can run, they can pass block. They've allowed 1 sack in 8 quarters. They've done everything that they need to do as a line. This might be the best O-line play in the last 2 weeks of the last 20 years.
I think you might be right on that. Yeah. A 2-game stretch like this?
Yeah.
Yes. Probably. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, it's been phenomenal. And credit to Butch Berry, really, because I know down here we weren't expecting a lot.
Say the Ricky Williams thing, but it was really more Ricky Williams being so.
Yeah, back then it was Ricky Williams. I remember. Yeah, I was a youngster. I was a youngster watching this team back in the Ricky Williams days. And yeah, I mean, he could create those yards. Nowadays, it's all about what you're doing with the blockers and creating those lanes for the running back. And and obviously you still need a talented ball carrier. But I think on the spectrum, it's definitely shifted where it's what matters more is the blocking up front and what the line is providing, and also probably the perception has shifted in that direction as well.
I wonder, Teron Armstead, they probably gave him a week of practice to see how his body responds. There's probably
you did say that. You did call that, yeah.
And there's probably a chance he plays next week now. It's probably what's going to end up happening. And I think that gets you a week under your belt before Buffalo too.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's it makes sense, because we were kind of talking, hold him out till Buffalo. But actually, if you think about it, this is really smart this week that they gave him some playing time. See how his body responds to the practice, Everything's cool. The next week, you give him a game week to get ready, and then he plays against Buffalo, and he's got a game under his belt before Buffalo, because to take on Buffalo flat, cold, you haven't played, that would be also a little bit of a, hey, man, look what's gone on with Joe Burrow for 2 weeks now, bro, because he didn't have a preseason and training camp. His timing is completely off. And so for people to tell you that practice may not be that important, well, you know what? Maybe some guys like Deion Sanders can wake up and just get out there on the field, and because he can do that, because he did that kind of crazy shit. But some guys, or a lot of guys, probably need some reps. Look at Joe Burrow, dude. He's a badass, and he has looked so pedestrian the last 2 weeks because his timing is off.
Yeah, and there's always been stories of veterans and holdouts that they feel they could just turn it right back on, and some guys are like that. I would think probably like a Tyreek Hill is like that, where he could just snap, turn it on, and go and dominate. I know like Xavier Howard has had a lot of times where he doesn't get team reps, doesn't participate in team reps. That year that he was a hold-in, and then he still had a great season in 2021 when that was going on, and then finally the contract was settled. So some guys you can, and then it turned out exceptional really to have Terron Armstead get a week of practice, and then you got the win without having to go and use him and then put that wear and tear on him, where the possibility of re-aggravation pops up, or just the lingering effects that then you just don't fully recover. So now I think this will be a phenomenal plan for him, that he got the practice week. He didn't have to go into this game, can then get a game under his belt in the home opener against Denver. And then, yeah, absolutely. Now you've got a game under yourself for Buffalo week 4.
Toby Marmorino is sending in a super chat, and we appreciate it. Now, do you know anything about the band The Knack? You do.
I've heard this one before. I see it pop up on the screen. Yeah.
You have heard it before. Okay, my Sharona, my Furones. Okay, so
I think you did that one time with me. I think
I did.
Maybe it wasn't on a show. Maybe it was just. Maybe we were just talking.
Okay, my Furones. So yeah. The only problem is, Sean, with our luck, we'll get tagged for it, right? If we do something that's look at this. It's like, oh, YouTube's gonna tag us. No, I don't need the hassle. YouTube tags you for anything, like anything. It's really, and our channel, bro, we get tagged for anything, man. I don't know what the hell is going on. All right, what'd you think of the defense this week? Last week they got runned over, and this week, we kind of expected a heavy dose of Ramondre Stevenson, and I'm sure they wanted to do it, but dude, they shut that thing down.
Yeah, I think they really took it as a challenge. They took it upon themselves. They challenged themselves to bounce back after last week and being run over the way they did against the Chargers. And they knew the Patriots were going to come back right back at them in that way. Ramondre Stevenson, when you have a guy like that's how you attack what was the number 32 ranked run defense off 1 week. So that was big to see. Andrew Van Ginkel step in and play the way he did. David Long was huge in that regard. So he took it upon himself and stepped up. Bradley Chubb, we saw some of his big plays, and Christian Wilkins some late as well. So just to see that front, Javon Holland with that big tackle for loss on Stevenson when he shot the gap, that was incredible. So a lot of guys making a lot of plays. Xavier Howard with an interception. We talk run defense, and then that's how. Then eventually you got to get the turnovers off of that too when they go to pass. So X with a great pick and single coverage, great positioning on Devontae Parker, bodying him up. The Bradley Chubb punch out to Sean Elliott's right there. So many highlights on that side of the ball.
Yeah, man, Chubb played well today, man. He got a big sack, forced a fumble, had a few tackles. He played well today. He had to step up in a big time. Christian Wilkins, he wants sack like money, right? Well, he picked up a sack today, so you got another 15 games to go, young man. Go get yourself some more sacks and get yourself, that bag, as they say. So we'll see if he can. I mean, listen, if you want the money, right? Connor Williams, you want the money? Well, dude, you got to snap. This is what it's all about. Jason Sanders, you want to keep your job, dude? You need to come through. Now, some of these other guys, Bradley Chubb, you wanted your money. Today was the day you had to step up. You stepped up. Good for you. Christian Wilkins, you had to step up. You stepped up. Good for you. Some guys are stepping up. Some other guys are not stepping up now.
Yeah.
So,
and the difference is Chubb got his money. Chubb got his money with that contract extension when he was traded over. So sometimes you do see that where then they don't keep stepping it up afterwards. But hey, credit to him that week 2 he took it upon himself to perform a little bit better out there. So,
and by the way, this is good for.
And you're hip with the lingo. You're hip with the lingo too, I hear.
Right. By the way, you can catapult this now. Hopefully, this helps him against his former team because everybody loves going up against their former team. So Bradley Chubb now gets to go up against Denver, and maybe that's a little extra motivation, and maybe he can get himself a couple sacks this week.
Yeah, carry some momentum into that game. Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. What are you working on the Sun Sentinel so folks can check you out?
Great, man. Great game coverage out here. So obviously everything between myself, Chris Perkins, who we were out here, all angles. I actually have to check with him on what he's been writing. But a 2-0 start from all angles. Tua handling the Patriots defense the way they defended him. Those 3 safeties. What's that?
5-0. Tua.
5-0 against the Patriots. He is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And 4-0 against Mac Jones.
How about that?
Yeah.
I mean, Dolphin fans aren't used to a quarterback that dominates the Patriots, bro. That's some crazy shit. That hasn't happened here for 2 decades.
Right.
That's just
exactly. It seems to coincide with that Tom Brady era.
Yeah, exactly.
Although Dolphins would still win a lot of those home games, they would often split.
Yes. Yeah. They gave Tom some trouble here at home. But if you notice, that's what I've been telling Dolphin fans. If you're noticing now, you're going to start winning more of these games like you did last year. Why? Because you have the better quarterback. And that's been your problem for many years. You could have a gritty battle and all that kind of stuff, but if you don't have the better quarterback, you're not going to win. And while Tua's in the starting lineup, you're going what's his record now, bro? Do we know his record under Mike McDaniel since last year?
In games where he starts and finishes too. That's another. Yeah. Right. It's up there. Yeah.
It was 8
off the top of my head.
Wasn't it 8-3 before the injuries?
Yeah. Well, the team was 8-3. But he missed a couple of games where that they lost. They went 3-0, lost 3 games, and then he exited when that started.
Right.
Missed the Jets and the Vikings losses last year. Yeah. So and even then he was a part of those. Yeah.
Right.
He was a part of those losses. Yeah.
I'd have to look it up, but like off the top of your head, like what's his it's like a really good record then.
Right, because then that would mean he was 8-1 up to that point instead of the 8-3, and you could even discount the Cincinnati game because he left in the second quarter of that one. Right. So in that regard, they were 8-0, and then what he was there for the San Francisco, LA Chargers, Buffalo losses, and then that's when the Christmas game against the Packers happened.
Right. So he's probably somewhere in the neighborhood of like 10-5, 10-4, or something like that, right?
Yeah. Oh, actually, right. Yeah, because then now 8-3, and then depends if you count the Cincinnati game or if you count the Green Bay game, too. Yeah.
Well, if he didn't finish it, I don't count it.
Right. He did finish the Green Bay game. Yeah.
Yeah. Games that he started and finished, dude, you're winning most of your games by a lot. So
yeah,
that's a hell of a clip. That's
10-4.
an article.
10-4 is what it would be. Yeah.
That's an article for you right there. Remind folks the lineup. Yeah. The stud numbers are there, bro. All right, follow him on Twitter at David Furones _. And, of course, catch him doing his thing here 3 times a week. He'll be back, Tuesday, right? You're back Tuesday?
I think you have me at Thursdays, but
Thursdays.
Twice a week, post games and once a week.
That's right. You're later in the week, Thursdays or Fridays.
Yeah.
Friday, yes.
Cool.
Thursday or Fridays. Yes, exactly. David, safe travels, my brother. Appreciate you big time. Thank you, sir. Now you don't even have to go to New England in the winter. Beautiful.
The weather's always been, the 3 times I've been here, phenomenal. January 1st, it was actually very nice late last year. And then I had the opener 2021. So great time of year to come through.
Good for you. Good for you, brother. I travel with Sean. That's my lucky charm. If I travel without Sean, forget about it. Everything happens to me. All kinds of delays and everything. Sean
Last
is
year I had
my.
snow in Buffalo.
No, you should have taken Sean. It wouldn't have snowed one bit. The guy's amazing. All right, David. Appreciate you, my brother. Appreciate you.
Appreciate
You
you.
got it. There you go. EJD Construction. And by the way, we love talking about Eric. Proud sponsor of our platform, Dade and Broward counties, folks. 305-433-4843. Custom home construction, major home remodeling. So many of our listeners over the years have called Eric to do like special huts in the back of their house with a full kitchen and a barbecue and a grease trap, an observation deck on top of their house. That's why I'm telling you, major home remodeling and custom home construction. You want to modernize that kitchen. Several of our listeners have done that, where they've gutted out their kitchens and completely modernized it. We've had a couple listeners that one have made an efficiency in their home that they needed to expand the home for family members, and then somebody else made an Airbnb on their property. They can do all of those kind of things for you, man. So call them 305-433-4843. Now, if you live here in South Florida, only in Dade and Broward counties, okay, is where EJD Construction does most of their work. They can't go to West Palm Beach or in Monroe County. Dade or Broward County, it is your one-stop shop. They know how to get it done, folks. And I'm telling you, AAA plus rating from the Better Business Bureau. Call Eric. This is his personal cell number, 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.